Hello! I'm not gonna be too long because the vlog's already too long, and also there's really bad background noise outside because I'm at my parents' house and they're doing some work like right next to their building. But yeah, I'm super late on this month's vlog because of unforeseen circumstances that happened in September that you will probably hear about in the September vlog. But yeah, it was the month of August. I went to Malaysia for one of my really close friends' wedding. I had my birthday. I walked some greyhounds. I spent a lot of times with Cam and a lot of my friends. Unfortunately, I also hurt my knee, which you will hear about a lot in this vlog, which I apologize, but it's literally been like half of my month was about my knee. So yeah, I still hope you're gonna enjoy it, and yeah, let me know. Bye. We started the month by walking some cute little greyhounds from the kennel. So they're ex-racing dogs that are looking for homes, and you can volunteer in the rescue center and walk them. So we walked two greyhounds. This one's called Sammy and this one's called Socks, and they were absolutely lovely, so nice, so sweet, and it was really hard to leave them back in the kennel after. They were so like lovable and they had so much love to give, and you can see like they always try and get close to you and like keep you from walking to get more pets, and it was, yeah, really lovely.
That's proper calf.
And then I left to Malaysia, well, first to Singapore, but I was going to Malaysia for the wedding of one of my really dear friends. On the way there, I watched One of Them Days with Keke Palmer and SZA, and I really liked the movie. And yeah, we stopped in Singapore. This is the Singapore airport, which has the biggest indoor water fountain in the world, which was absolutely crazy. The airport just looks like, yeah, it's basically a luxury mall. Which was the first time that I ever saw something like this. So we visited Singapore for a few days. We went to the very infamous gardens and saw a light show, which you will see in a second. And then on the first night, we went to a delicious hawkers, which is what they call like markets where you can get food. And we had some like satay sauce with skewers, which were so delicious. This was like a hawkers that was specialized in satay. And I also got this fried carrot cake, which is not at all a fried carrot cake, but a kind of radish omelette, which was really good. And then the next day we went to the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, which is in Chinatown. And I absolutely loved it. We made a little prayer, and we went during praying time, so it was really impressive to see them. It was the first time that I ever saw something like this, because I've only been to Asia once, and it was the year before to go to Malaysia, so I don't know temples very well, and I loved it. And we of course also visited some Hindu temples, which were also wonderful. That day we went to another hawkers and had something very typical from Singapore, which is chicken rice, Hainanese chicken rice, which was very good. And then my friend had to work, so I went by myself to the Singapore City Gallery, which is a kind of information center slash museum about how they built the city. And that was super interesting. And there was a little map of the city where you can see all of the wooden part is stuff that they're planning to build kind of on the water. yeah, very interesting. Lots of things to say, let's say. And then I really wanted to buy a novel by a Singaporean author, and I found this. It was really hard to find because it was mostly history books. But yeah, I found this, and then I went to the acupuncture clinic in Chinatown, a traditional one. So I just came back from the Chinese medicine clinic. First of all, let's acknowledge how humid it is outside. And so I looked online to find one, and I found one with like really good reviews from Singaporean and Chinese people, because I wanted to be quite authentic. And authentic it was. It was like in the bottom of Chinatown, and I think they were really surprised to see a European there, because literally the whole staff took pictures with me. And the communication with the doctor was quite hard, so because he didn't speak English, and obviously I didn't speak Shanghaiese because he was from Shanghai. So I used Google Translate, and then it was fine to explain like the things that I felt were going a bit wrong in my body. And then he did acupuncture, and let me tell you, I've done acupuncture before, you know that, both in the south of France and in London, but I guess acupuncture in the West has been like adapted and westernized, because at least where I've done it, they put the needles in and then they leave you there, but they don't touch the needles anymore. Sometimes they move them at the very beginning just to ask you if you can feel them, because you have to feel them, and then they leave you there. So the only thing that hurts is that sometimes the needle is in a place that is tense, or I don't really know what it is, and then you feel it a bit more than the others. But here, you put the needles in, all of them. First of all, they were bigger needles than the needles that had been used on me before. And so I think they go deeper. And then once he put all the needles, so he put about 5 in both of my legs, about 5 in my lower belly, and 1 on top of my head here. And then once he was done, he came back in order in the way he put them and moved them with his fingers. And that was so painful. Like really, like, and then he asked, painful? I'd say, yes, and he'd continue. And it sent like almost little electric shocks in my legs. Especially the leg ones were really painful, and the one in my lower belly, like lower right belly. Yeah, so I don't really know. Yeah, maybe that's how acupuncture is really supposed to be, I guess so. And yeah, and then we had a really funny interactions, because we were using like before starting using Google Translate, I was trying to explain, and then I realized, okay, we're going nowhere here. But when I was trying to explain, I was pointing to my lower belly, because that's where the pain is. Like that's where I feel things are blocked. And then he goes, pregnant? I go, no. And then he says, just a little fat then. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't think he meant it at all as like something mean. Like I think it was just, it's not necessarily a bad thing for him to be a little fat, but it was just really funny. So yeah, let's see what happens for the next few days, if I feel any better. And then he gave me some tea as well to drink for the next 2 days. You will sense a bit of a theme here. We went to a delicious ice cream place where I got some pandan and macadamia nuts ice cream. And then we went antique shopping, even though we didn't buy anything, but we found this beautiful little store. Look at all of the things they have. And then we went to Singapore's main mosque, Masjid Sultan, and we had nice interactions with the guides there who explained a lot of things about the history of the Muslim quarters in Singapore. And then we went to Little India to visit Sri Veeramakaliamman temple. I hope I say it well. It was so beautiful, and they were praying at the time we were there, so I really enjoyed that. And we visited the market as well, which was so clean, and everything made me want to eat. So after that, we went for some delicious South Indian food. Oh, it was so good. So good. After that, I went to visit the orchard area by myself, which is like the rich area with like the luxurious malls kind of thing. Not really interesting. However, after that, I went to a Chinese tea house, and one of the people working there explained to me how to serve tea in the Chinese culture, and it was really delicious. It was like almost meditative. They were so nice. I loved the place, and I had such a good time. Yeah, learning and enjoying my tea in small sips. Really, it was really just a lovely moment. Just finished this book. It's Slugs, a Manifesto by Abby Palmer. It's a bit of a different book than what I usually read, and I really loved it. It's a manifesto, so it's a mix of like poetry, fiction, kind of non-fiction, memoir-ish, different types of texts, and also pictures about slugs. So she's like a multimedia artist, and she kind of has an obsession with slugs, and she makes a lot of parallels between being a slug and like having a disability, being a slug and being queer, and being a slug and being anti-capitalist, and maybe if we all lived a bit more like slugs, we could just be a bit better as a whole, as a society. I highly recommend it because it's just very different, and I really enjoyed it. It's yeah, it was really lovely. I'm definitely gonna come back to it in the future, because there are some great quotes in it, and it was just a breath of fresh air, and I also love the cover. Following up on our food series, we went to this jumbo seafood place and had the best pepper crab I've ever had in my life. And then the next day we had a traditional breakfast, which was kaya jam toast with some like steamed eggs with soy sauce, and it was also really good. We didn't have time to go to the National Gallery. Instead, we decided to go to the Peranakan Museum. Peranakans are the descendants of immigrants that came to Southeast Asia. So it's mostly Chinese immigrants, but also Portuguese, Dutch, also mixed with indigenous people. So it's kind of like celebrating that like mix of culture that is very typical to Southeast Asia, to particularly I'd say Malaysia and Singapore. And this museum just celebrates their like art de vivre. And it was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it and really recommended it because it's not too big as well, which was very nice. And then the next day we flew to Ipoh, which is where the wedding was. We had delicious Chinese meal on the first night. As you can see, really good fish. And then we went to visit some temples in caves, which was very, very beautiful. It was a bit outside of the city. And then we visited the actual city of Ipoh and the infamous Concubine Lane, which is where Chinese merchants used to keep their concubines. And then it was time to actually go to the ceremony, which was a bit outside of Ipoh in a place called Kuala Kangsar. I didn't film much of the ceremony because it was a big banquet, but I hope you will enjoy a few little clips after this. I didn't want to do too much because I also don't know what the newlyweds want to show or not. So here you go. And the next day we drove and took a boat to an island called Pangkor Laut, to celebrate in with a smaller party of people. And yeah, that was the second part of the wedding, and it was really fun. Here you will see a couple of clips from the dinner and the party.
For your your vlog.
Yeah, don't ask questions. No, she's...
I loved the book because of the jet lag. I literally read it in like just a few days. It was so good. It's based on her true story of interning in Singaporean media as a young journalist. And yeah, if you can ever find it in the West, honestly, get it and buy it. I gave it to my friends. It was just really good. I'm super proud of Millie for writing this. The next day we had a banana leaf curry, which is my absolute favorite thing. It was so good. And then it was time to leave this paradise. This is the food I got in the Singapore airport on the way back. It was delicious fish soup, and it was really, really good. And it was time to say bye to the fountain again and to go home. I actually went straight home to the south of France because I wanted to see my brother who was there for the weekend that I hadn't seen all summer. And I stopped in this gallery from this artist, Olivia Cognet. Sorry, it's like super, like there's no transition between Singapore and south of France ceramicist. But yeah, her name's Olivia Cognet. I don't know why I said it with an English accent before. And I fell in love with her work. Really incredible pieces that I wish I had a house big enough and enough money to buy them and put them in my house.
Se ha caído en un agujero ahí.
Another book I read this month is the wrong way around. One I feel like literally everyone has read in London this year. It's called Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico and translated by Sophie Hughes from the Italian. From Italian. Look, I think it's been really hyped up. Don't get me wrong, it's really well written. It's super, super descriptive. I mean, it's really, really well done. But I would lie if I didn't say it's a little bit boring. It's a bit of a satire of kind of modern times. And it's about a millennial couple, I would assume they're millennials. Yeah, they are millennials who lives in Berlin, and they're both freelance like graphic designers, and they're basically bored with their perfect life. And they try to become digital nomads, and then, yeah, and they're still unhappy. So it's a bit of a critique of our times and of our generation and society, even though I'm a zillennial, but because I'm from 1996, so I'm in between the two, but still it's the same thing. Critique of our times and our system, where, you know, in upper middle class, like privileged classes, will never really be satisfied with what they have because there is a complete lack of meaning and purpose. So it's really well written. And I'm sure it's really well translated, as in it's really well translated, so I'm sure it's really well written in Italian. But yeah, it was a fine read. Like, I read it really fast. It's really short, And I think it's nice to read, for sure. I would recommend it, but it was not the most entertaining read. But it's not meant to be anyway, so yeah, that's it.
The train and the platform. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police.
So after 10 days away, I forgot to take the bin out, and so did Cam. And so now I just opened the bin, and all those flies came out, and it's full of larvae. Oh my god, I'm going to puke. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm going to deal with this. I'm gonna take this down with some rubber gloves, and then I'm going to put the whole bin in the shower, I think. Oh my god. Okay, so this is all cleaned. Literally all the larvae that was all around here is gone. I can't see anymore, at least. And now here I'm trying to catch the ones that are flying. As you can see, it's working pretty well, but there's still loads. Oh my god, I'm going to have a panic attack. And now it's up to the larvae that is everywhere on the walls and on the floor, and that I need to hoover and scratch off the surface. And I'm gonna do the second bin. That is really not as bad because it was the recycling. So there's barely anything in there, but now that I've cleaned one, I might as well clean the other. And if I clear it up, there'll probably be stuff behind as well. So anyway, we're gonna make it work. Little update on the whole fly situation. Yesterday I spent an hour cleaning everything, scraping the walls, blah blah, you saw it. And then I cleaned the floors with some floor cleaning product, and I slipped on it and I dislocated my knee. So this is something that has happened many times before. The last time it happened, there was 3 years ago. I've always had a bad knee. It's genetic. My dad just got a knee replacement. My brother has bad knees as well. Because basically, like, it's just structurally bad. Like the rotula just tends to move like this, like more than most people. And so I need to have really strong thighs in order to like keep it in position. But the second like I slip like this, it tends to just pop out. So it's my fault because I haven't been doing my exercises for a really long time now, and I've stopped really exercising properly because of work. I'm gonna cry because I'm so tired. It's just been a lot. I think also just generally my body is kind of like, I think I've said it before, my body is kind of like catching up to me because I've just been really tired because of work. And now that I've stopped work like 20 days ago, like I have this wave of like just general like physical and mental tiredness. And like I was bound to hurt myself somehow. So what I did is that I put ice on it, because again it's happened to me before. I've iced it, and then I went to bed because I couldn't be bothered to go to the A&E by myself because Cam's not here, and I didn't want to bother his parents and also all my best friends are not in London right now. I couldn't be bothered to go to the A&E straight away in the middle of the night, because also if you've ever been to the A&E in London in the middle of the night, I have, because my best friend and flatmate in uni used to have epilepsy. So we've been to the A&E in the middle of the night and then a few times in my life, and it's just really scary. Like, it's just not nice. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna ice my knee and sleep on it and then see how it is the next day. And it's like triple the size now, even with the painkillers, the anti-inflammatories, and the ice. So I've just been limping around. I've had a little wash because I hate going to the doctors and feeling unclean. I think it's just not really respectful to them. Obviously, if you can, clean yourself. Otherwise, I mean, they've seen much worse things. So I had a little wash, I got dressed, I made a small breakfast. I ordered for the first time in my life groceries on Deliveroo. which, I mean, it was a necessity, and I've ordered some ice as well, and I managed to limp down with the lift. I've made a small breakfast, and I've packed my bags, and now I'm finishing my coffee, and I'm gonna go to St. Thomas's Hospital, which is the only hospital, the only A&E that I know here, and it's always been fine, and hopefully it's not going to take me all day. I'm supposed to go to the theater tonight to see Burlesque with my friend Jess, but that's okay. I mean, we got the cheapest tickets, so worst case scenario, I lose 25 pounds, and she can go with someone else. But yeah, I'm just mentally preparing for it because I know it's going to take a long time, because also in the process, I fell on my wrist, the other one, the one that's holding the phone right now. And it hurts a little bit when I twist it. I don't think it's anything, it might just be sprayed, but I'm also like, I might as well just get everything checked out. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I will keep you posted. Update, I'm back from the A&E. Not much to say really. They did an x-ray of both my wrists and my knee because I also fell on my wrist. I've got nothing, just a small sprain on my wrist, but however my knee, like, they could clearly see that there was a trauma, and they are afraid that through the dislocation I might have injured the ligament and possibly teared a little bit of a speck of bone. However, they're not sure, so the fracture clinic is supposed to get in touch with me in the next 2 days. They're specialists, and they will let me know. So they give me just literally just painkillers and ibuprofen and crutches and this paper that says that the fracture clinic will contact me, and with my ongoing plan, this could include any of the following: discharge, referral to physiotherapy, face-to-face visits to the fracture clinic, an appointment with our plaster technicians for a cast or a splint, or a phone call to discuss booking you for more investigations to assess your injuries, such as MRI or CT scan, which I believe the last option is what's gonna happen, because as this has happened to me before, there was usually an MRI involved, but we'll see if it's the same here. It's been really weird because I've never been to the A&E for my knee in the UK before, always in France, and in France you kind of always see a doctor. So you do the x-rays and stuff, but then the person giving you your diagnosis is a doctor, whereas there I didn't see a doctor. I saw nurses the whole way, and I never got an actual diagnosis by a doctor, which is quite strange. And then when I've done it in France, they would do the x-ray, then you see the doctor, and they'd make you go straight do the MRI, whereas there I have to wait for a few days. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll keep you updated, but at least tonight Cam is coming back. Sorry, there's a plane again, my window's open. Yeah, Cam is coming back, and I think he's gonna kind of move in with me, at least for a week, so that I have a bit of help. Yeah.
Here we go. Cut the top and the bottom off. Now slice off the outside skin. This little leftover knife.
And then we went to the theater to see Born with Teeth with Nkuti Gatwa, which you might know from Sex Education, who was absolutely amazing in the play. The play talks about a relationship between William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. The dialogues were amazing, the actors were amazing. The other guy who plays Shakespeare is Edward Blumo. I think you say Blumo? I don't know. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. We had a great time. Happy birthday to you. Please don't go. And I say, Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. Hey, little updates because I haven't really been filming much in the past week. So I'll do little updates while I oil my scalp. I use this one. It's quite expensive. It has been really good. I'm trying to regrow my hair, but I honestly think you can use like some much cheaper oil for it. But increasing blood flow to the scalp is always a good idea. So if you don't massage your scalp, get into it. Yeah, so last week, as you saw, I hurt my knee. It was just a really, really bad timing because I had so much stuff planned in the next 2 weeks. So I had two theaters, like one play, one musical that I still went to, but I was in quite a lot of pain. And I took Ubers there, and it was just... it just made stuff much more complicated than it should have been. And then I had a wedding. And then I had one of my best friends from uni's 30th. That was on Saturday, and same thing, I still went to it. But the next day, my knee was so swollen, and I couldn't walk. Like, I couldn't put my foot on the floor. I felt like, my knee was just gonna collapse under me. So that's when I made the decision on Sunday I was like, okay, you've been overdoing it. Like, you just hurt yourself on Monday, and yet you still didn't cancel any of your plans, and you're keeping going as if like nothing had happened. So I made the decision to cancel the wedding I was supposed to go to, which was still that friend's brother's wedding in Wales, because I was just thinking I cannot do 6 hours of car or of train with my leg bent. And my friend also has little kids, and I know like I would have wanted to help, and I would have just felt more like a burden more than anything else. And it was also just like the perfect scenario for me to hurt myself again. So I decided not to go, which I was really sad about because I had been looking forward to it for a while. And I also just really wanted to spend some one-on-one time with my friends, which hasn't happened in a long time. The wedding is today, and so I'm missing it. I decided to stay in London, and basically since my friend's 30th on Saturday, I've been doing nothing and just resting. Cam has moved into my flat for a little bit to help me like move around and shower and stuff like that because I'm afraid of slipping. And then so last week I went to the A&E here in London. They transferred me to the fracture clinic. Well, they were supposed to, but then they told me they'll call you back, and if they don't call you back in the next 4 days, call them back. And they apparently forgot to actually transfer my file, so then I had to call them back, and now they're calling me back on Thursday. So in the end, I was supposed to go home next week, back to the south of France. And so what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to do that and do my MRI on next week at home. Because knee problems are like recurring things in my family. So my dad actually has a doctor who took care of his knee. So I was thinking of like just, he already talked to him about it because he had an appointment with him the week before. So like last week for his own knee, and he agreed to book an appointment with me, which I'm very lucky about. So that's what I'm gonna do next week. In the meantime, yeah, I cancelled all my plans this week and I'm just resting. The only thing I didn't cancel is my birthday party on Saturday. I'm doing like a day party, drinks, lunch at Cam's. So I'm still gonna go ahead with that. But yeah, keep you posted on my knee. Honestly, it's been a recurring thing since I was 7. Where I've just dislocated my knee every couple of years, especially when I'm really tired. And I think with the whole job thing that I've been talking about, like for the past few months, quitting my job and like having, I think, a mini burnout, my body is just really tired, and I think I was just bound to hurt myself somehow. Like I could really feel that like something was going to happen. I know it's stupid to say that after it happens, but it's the truth. And so yeah, it's just life. I just need to rest both my body and my mind, I think. I haven't vlogged really any food in a while. This is what we made for dinner. So there is quinoa we cooked in vegetable broth. Some salmon I put in the oven after marinating it for the whole day with some lemon, some coriander, some tomatoes, olive oil, lemon, and a lot of spices. And then some chili brox that we made in the oven, and just some steamed green beans. How is it? Is it too spicy?
No, I just swallowed the wrong hole.
The last book I read this month was La Louisiane by Julia Malye, or Malye, I'm not sure. I think it's Malye. And it's a book in French, but actually what's really incredible about this author and this book is that she wrote it both in French and in English. So it's not translated. She wrote both at the same time, which is just crazy to me, because I think I heard an interview about her ages ago, and I think she was saying that like she just wanted the story to sound the way she wanted the story to sound, and because she speaks both languages, she thought it was a good project to write both. I loved it. So it's this is a small format, so it's not a paperback, but it's still about almost 600 pages. And I've been meaning to read it since I heard that interview, which was literally like more than a year ago. My mom had read it in the meantime, my aunt had read it, my friends had read it, some of my friends. And I'm really glad I finally did. I think it was a perfect summer read in the sense that it's slow and long, and it follows in a good way. And it follows the characters over decades, which I really enjoyed. I hadn't read something like that in a really long time, and I realized I really missed it. I really missed character development over a long period of time. And it's really, really well written. I think in English it's called, I think I googled it, I think it's called Alligator Girls. But if you Google the name of the author, you'll find it. And it's based on historical true facts. So in Paris, there was this really huge, now it's a hospital, but it used to be just a big like orphanage and place where they would take care of like different types of women, but also a place where they would kind of imprison women who had committed crimes at the time, like small like stuff, and or even like, you know, things like kissing another woman or witchcraft or whatever, or women that they deemed hysterical, and so they'd keep them there imprisoned for their life. And there was also an orphanage, so it was like a place where a lot of women were living in different conditions, because there were different like parts of the hospital or structure where they were treated differently according to what they had done. And when France colonized Louisiana, they sent a lot of men there, so in the 1700s. And obviously, it was not the dream that they thought it was going to be, because it was not their land and they didn't know how to use it and how to live there in those conditions on indigenous land. Because, I mean, obviously, it's a colonization story of our planet. And so they sent a lot of men there, and then after a while, where they wanted to properly colonize the place and make it a French colony, and for that they needed children. And so because it was kind of like everyone knew that it wasn't the dream that they were being sold originally back in mainland France, and that it wasn't like a promised land like full of, you know, gold and raw minerals that they could exploit, and that the conditions in Louisiana were actually quite rough. No one wanted to go, no women wanted to go there, or no families wanted to settle there. So what they did is that they took some of the women from La Salpêtrière, that place I told you about, and they shipped them to Louisiana and force married them to settlers there. And this is the story of these women over decades. So from their time at La Salpêtrière to their marriages, their kids, the whole travel as well is the whole first part of the book, obviously in very difficult conditions. And so yeah, it was very interesting, and then it threw me into a rabbit hole on the actual history of those women, the real women. And it's inspired obviously by the real women. You have all the notes at the end and the references of the different books she read to write this. And it's just a really very well referenced, very bright, well written story. So I don't know how it is in English, but I doubt it's any different. So yeah, I really loved it. Happy birthday to you. Yummy flowers.
Oh, it's your birthday.
It's so cute. And then we got onigiris and coffee. Thank you. Hello. I've got 1 hour left of my birthday. I turned 29 today.
Woohoo!
And I had a birthday party yesterday, but I didn't film any of it because, I don't know, I was stressed and trying to enjoy the moment after, and yeah.
It was excellent though, right?
It was really fun. I had the best weekend thanks to you. And today I had the best day. We went for onigiri and coffee, went for a little walk, as much as I could walk with my crutches. And then we just chilled at home. We watched a really good movie, The Menu. And then, what did we do? We came back here. Oh my god, we just finished the Love is Blind UK Season 2 reunion. It was so good, wasn't it?
It was good.
It was crazy though. If anyone's watching, hit me up. I've already posted some TikToks about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just the best weekend, even though with my knee it was a bit complicated. And this is where the vlog ends. And I'll see you next month. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Sorry if it wasn't the most entertaining month, because
that was the best.
Literally the second half of the month I didn't film anything because of my knee. But thanks anyway. Bye. Bye vlog.